there's significantly more water in this river than when I was here like a week, 2 weeks ago. I am back here in the Karagahake Gorge. Last time I was here we got rained out. Obviously you saw the video, which I'll link above. There was a lot less water here, but last time the thing I missed out was that I really wanted to practice waterfall photography because I'm notoriously bad at it. So I came here to photograph a waterfall, but because we got so badly rained out, my feet were wet and I was just damp all over, and so I really wanted just to go home. But today's a much nicer day and there's significantly more water because of the rainfall that we've had in the area lately. So I'm hoping that today is the day that I'm actually going to learn how to take better waterfall shots. So let's go for a walk and see what we can find, and hope the weather holds. I'm not a complete idiot, despite the fact that I've come here seemingly just in a long sleeve t-shirt. I do have a raincoat in my pack. I do have my new boots, which are waterproof, so I'm not going to get wet feet this time. It does pay to be prepared for bad weather, even though you're expecting good. I've been here 10 minutes already and haven't even taken out my camera. Well, I mean, I'm using the Osmo at the moment, but you know, proper camera. But this place is cool, and I took some photos here. Oh, there's a wax eye. So every time I come here, I'm reminded how unfit I am because of these stairs. There's not that many stairs. It's embarrassing. Not as embarrassing as that camera. That's better. I just committed the cardinal sin of photography, specifically nature photography, and I didn't have my camera ready. So I saw this wonderful little wax-eye, little bird, native bird, to the Pacific region, and he was just playing on the rock, on the ruins, and I missed it. I failed completely. Yeah, always have your camera out. I'm now very much seeing why photographers like say James Popsis have the Peak Design clip on their strap where their camera can just be readily available, because you've really got to have the camera ready. See, my idea was I would be getting there then taking the photos, and that was stupid of me, because quite often the best photos are the ones you don't expect. So lesson learnt. And we'll go from there. Oh, look at this. This is quite cool. It's an old mining car. Right, so after all of my talk about having better weather today, it's gotten real grey the more I walk, so I might need to switch into wet weather mode very soon. Oh, that's a nice shot. Definitely getting that one. So coming up to our first tunnel, and it's quite wet inside, so I'm just going to take things cautiously to come in here. Made it! I had to switch to the iPhone because of the water, obviously, and the phone's waterproof and none of my cameras are, which is, you know, just one of those things. I mean, it's a tiny tunnel, but it was just very wet. And it's still dripping like mad around here, so as you can see on the walls. Yeah, I'm ready for the weather to turn on me. So today's definitely one of those days where it's a bit more about the journey than the destination. We've gone through the windows walk, through the tunnels, snapped some photos. It's all tunnels all the way through. You can see people coming, and you got these windows, hence why it's called the windows walk, because it's got windows. Now I'm going down a whole lot of stairs that I'm really glad I get to go down and not up, but we're nowhere near getting to where I wanted to go. it's a little bit tricky holding the camera and navigating these stairs. Hopefully the video mic's working, because it's the first time I've used it by raging torrents of water, so I have no idea if you can even hear me or not at this moment. I'll switch over to the M6 Mark II now, because I really need to have this camera on the ready all the time, and I've got my plastic bag in my pocket, so if it rains I can quickly switch it over. But boy, that water is loud. There's a lot of it too. Maybe this is a good time while we're on our journey to talk about something that often doesn't get discussed, which is batteries. So the M6 Mark II is fairly hungry on batteries. Boy, that's loud. So Canon batteries are a bit magical. They feel like they last forever sometimes. You put them in, you do video, you do photos, and they last you, I don't know what the actual time is on the M6 Mark II, but they last a while. When you go to put third-party batteries in, on the other hand, they don't. I do have one third-party battery that just really doesn't last very long at all. It's the first one I bought. It charges fast, which is good, but it is supposed to be 1500 mAh, and it's not. So what I would like to say is that Canon has done a great job at being a little bit more accepting of third-party batteries than they have in the past. In the past, it's been very much a case of very much a case of, if you put in a third-party battery into, say, like the M50 or the like, it would come up with a warning. It would tell you that you could potentially void your warranty by putting this battery in if you have a battery failure that leads to other problems. However, now you pop one into the M6 Mark II, of course, and you don't get that at all. You don't get any kind of warning or anything like that. It really comes down to the manufacturer of the battery as to whether the batteries are any good or not. I recently got some new ones which I want to show you, that came in these cute little cases. I'll throw some B-roll in here or something. The little waterproof case is perfect. They're waterproof, they charge quickly, they seem to last just as long as the normal batteries. Only 2 batteries cost me $40 with a charger that has USB-C, wicked, whereas the Canon battery is $75. Canon, what are you doing? I could handle 40, 50 bucks for an official battery, but 75 New Zealand dollars is far too much for a battery. We know they're not that expensive. We know you can do better. However, at least you're letting us use third-party batteries a little bit more readily, because the one weakness the M6 Mark II has is battery life. It does chew through battery. One little trick that I learnt: do not turn off the screen. Like if you're in between shots, leave it on. If you're going to be using the back screen, leave it on. Weirdly, the back screen, I think, drains the battery slower than than if you're using the digital sight. The EVF, if you put that on the top of the camera, for some reason it seems to drain the battery quicker. However, that said, yeah, if you are doing some shooting, don't turn the camera on and off thinking you're going to save battery, because you're not. You're not going to save battery by turning the camera on and off. It definitely drains the battery quicker. I'm not sure why. Obviously, if you're turning it off and you're walking for half an hour, that's a different story. Then you're going to turn it off and walk for half an hour. But if you're like in between shots, say you're doing portraits, take a few shots, turn it off. Turn it back on, take a few shots, turn it off. Never do that. One, you're going to miss shots if you do that, because your camera's not going to be ready at any moment to take a shot. But also, for some reason, that does tend to drain out the battery quicker. That's a little tip for you guys. That's a bit better. Whew. Oh, geez. It's a lot of watching the camera and falling on things. I'm still getting used to all this. I haven't used this camera for vlogging as much as I anticipated when I got it, since we went into lockdown and we couldn't go out anywhere. But at least now I can get out and explore what is some really stunning countryside. Look at that. Look at this. It's beautiful. How are you? I found a waterfall. It's not the one I was looking for though, but there's one just here behind me, which is it's small, but it's quite nice. So I found one at least, but I feel like I'm still so far away from the main one that I'm wanting to get to the point where I hope that I find it soon. The trip back to the car is going to basically be a mad dash, or I'll never get there. So there is a bigger waterfall further up the stream, but it's quite a bit further up the stream, and I do have to be mindful of the sun for getting home because it's not daylight, it's daylight savings, it gets dark very quick. Anyway, we did find a much larger waterfall along with this little one that comes out of the hole in the wall. So we're going to take some photos here, and then I think we're going to have to make our trip back towards the car. So let's see if I can at least make this one look any good. Okay, it's pretty obvious, as you can probably tell. If I turn that, it's pretty obvious as you can probably tell because I just had to turn the aperture way down in order to capture myself. But the sky is, okay, that's probably going to be below now. The sky is significantly darker. It's definitely going to go to rain soon. I need to get my jacket on, get my camera all basically packed away, and I might take it out further down the line, but between here and there, like, I'm just going to have to book it so I don't get drenched and also run out of light entirely and have to walk back to the car in the dark, because who wants to do that? Oh, good. So it turns out I wasn't recording this whole time. So as you can see, it's quite wet, and I didn't plan for this. Well, I prepared for this, but I didn't plan for it. But I'm really glad that I at least had my waterproof boots, which I almost didn't buy yesterday. Unfortunately, we failed at getting the perfect waterfall shot. I didn't find the waterfall I wanted. To make it worse, when we got to the waterfall we did find, I saw a trout jump out of the water at the waterfall, and I thought, oh, if only I was ready for the camera then. I wasn't. It was too quick. I couldn't raise it quick enough. I wasn't set up. I just arrived and just caught it, just glanced it, and it didn't happen again. So unfortunately, we didn't get that shot either. So today is a lesson in failure. Failure to get what we expected, failure for the weather to hold out for us, but we learned a lot, and I still think we've got some photos we can salvage. You know, not the end of the world. Oh dear. Turns out we're not going that way due to storm damage, so despite my best intentions to avoid it, it looks like we definitely have to go back through the caves. Here we go. Hopefully the Osmo Pocket's alright with this, because, sorry, I'm ducking because of the rocks. I got significantly dripped on in there, so I'm quite glad that, yeah, hopefully the Osmo Pocket didn't get dripped on. It's a little bit, it's not too bad, it doesn't seem to have gone down the cracks. Can't be worse than the sand I dropped it in that time. Anyway, one more tunnel, and then we're tunnel free. I could say it started to rain, significantly. It's rather wet now. Okay, I'm back to shooting on the phone. I'll just put you down there a second. I'm back in the car. To say that I got a little bit trounced is more or less an understatement. I am soaked through, despite my jacket. The only thing that's dry are my feet. So good on you, Kathmandu hiking waterproof boots. You've done your job. You've kept my feet dry. Unfortunately, the rest of me, look at this. I don't know if you can see how wet and shiny this shirt looks. I think with a good drive to Auckland with the air conditioning and the heater on, I should dry out. See, look at that. Look how drenched that is. The good thing is that my bag had the rain shield on it. If you have a bag with a rain shield on it and some rain starts to come in, put the rain shield on, because this bag is bone dry. But look at my poor little dead cat. Poor thing's drowned to death. I'm hoping the microphone's okay on the inside of it. At least
at least if this is the microphone I lost, it's the cheapest microphone I own. So what we learned today, some wise women once said don't go chasing waterfalls, and I think from my example I've proven them correct. We went chasing a waterfall and ended up drenched in water, and unfortunately didn't make it to the waterfall because the day was running out. So plan your trip, know how long it's going to take to get there, realize that it is a 2-hour trip in each direction, not a 45-minute trip in each direction, which for some reason I thought it was, and get here early so that you can make it. So I'm still going to do the trip eventually. We've still got to practice some waterfall photography and some water photography. So I'm going to have my lunch now, and then I'm going to get on the road and hopefully get dry. Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you learned something. I hope it was an enjoyable little adventure for you. You know, let me know in the comments. I'd like to know, what sort of adventures have you taken your M6 Mark II on, and what sort of things have you had to go through just to try to find the shot that you're looking for. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and thank you very much for watching. It does mean the world to me, and I'll see you guys in the next video really, really soon. There we go. So as you can see, there's the walkway cut into the rock down below I was hoping to be taking. But no, we're back into the mines.